Hello guys, Pretty King here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Make Toys Excavator, which is part of the Green Giant, but we all know this guy as Scavenger from the Constructicons that made Devastator. So let's go ahead and take a look at him side by side, with his G1 self, and they did a really great job. If you look at these guys, they're almost dead accurate to each other. This guy is obviously more of a masterpiece style of Scavenger, but I think that Hasbro themselves couldn't do a better job than this. The one difference here is the purple tracks were the black tracks, but to be honest, that really doesn't bother me because they also put a lot of nice paint detail on these guys, and there's no stickers that you have to apply, so it comes just like this out of packaging. Taking a look at the back, again, some nice little paint detail, especially here with the silver, and there's that side as well. Now, just like with G1, you had this right here section had a joint here and a joint here, so you have some articulation and both those sections there. But where his, I don't know what to call this thing. I've never done construction, so I'm not a construction expert. But his little shovel or scoop thing here, to where it was kind of a hindrance with some other construction vehicles or scavenger vehicles that we've seen in the past few years. This one works really well with his robot mode, and you'll see that whenever I put him in there. But, got the same articulation, goes back this far and forward this far. This also moves in and out. But just a really nice vehicle. And even the treads on here for the, I wanted to say tank, but the excavator, because that's what actually this vehicle is, look very, very nice. So let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. The first thing that we're going to do is pull this section back up like this. Then we're going to pull these treads apart right here. You're going to come up with this so that this kind of sets at a 90 degree. Then you're going to move this section down, and basically you're just flip-flopping it to where now it's setting 90 degrees down here, and move this to where this will actually be coming up against the guy's back here, which gives them a little bit of robot kibble, but it doesn't really bother me that much because the figure itself looks fantastic. I'll go ahead and move these legs down just like so. You're going to push right here while holding this, so and you'll hear that just pop out of there. Do the same with this section here, and then you will rotate these where the treads are facing the front. Then with this section here, flip it back around. You're going to pull down these feet, flip them around, and then you can come out with the heel spurs. There we go. Come down all the way there. And as you can see, the feet look really nice. I'll get it in the camera a little bit better here whenever we get them fully transformed. Then with the arms, you're just going to take apart right here and bring them onto this side. Now, the one thing that you really have to be careful with this guy, if you can see this right here, there's only that one little joint right there where this actually swings around for his head that's holding that head on. So if you're rough with this part, if you end up breaking that or putting stress marks on it to kind of wear it out, you're going to end up with a robot without a head. Now, these aren't recommended for children, or at least I wouldn't. These are more for collectors, especially with their price point. So this isn't something that, your son that's 5 years old likes the Constructicons and you end up buying them for him, unless I guess you're Bill Gates or something. But they are a bit expensive, but they are cheaper than the TFC Hercules. But I think that I would definitely, if they were the same price point, I would choose these guys over Hercules, in my personal opinion. I like them that much. Now, here's what I was talking about with this little shovel scoop thing. That it's articulated here to where you can actually bring this up around to where it's, around his arm. To where, let's get G1 transformed real quick here. Oh, what are you doing there? And bring his little feet around. Kind of very similar transformations here. And there's a little head right there. With this section, it goes up like that, but it was kind of really back kibbly, or like most people, you just kind of set it there on the ground to kind of help pose him. So we'll bring him in again in a second, but you're going to spin these hands around and just kind of going over the articulation. His head is on a 360 degree ball joint, so he can look all around. He can actually look up and down. He kind of tilt his head to the side if you'd like. Then with his shoulders, they can come two different joints. There's a ball joint there and a little hinge here, so you can actually come up and back or up and down there, which is part of the transformation actually. If you hold this, he's got a very tight ball joint here in this shoulder. So that can go in and out, 360. Then he's got bicep swivel as well. Then he's got double jointed elbows, which is part of the transformation, but it works out really nice for him. So you can get him in some pretty epic poses. Can even go back quite a bit as well. Then coming around to the waist, you do have some waist articulation here. But because of this section here, and I'm just going to call this shovel because I have no idea what it's called. But the shovel keeps on hitting this back portion if you come around this way. But I don't see a reason to move him to the side more than that at the waist. But one of the cool things with this guy, and what makes him more articulated than some of the other Transformers that we've been seeing lately, is he can also tilt forward and tilt back as well. So I mean, that's almost like a SRC figure there. Then with the legs, he's got ball joints down here. Can't really go in and out that much because of this tank tread, but you can kind of move it around and position around to where you can get it the way that you want it. You can also rotate here at the thigh, bend 90 degrees here at the knee, and then he's also got the toe on a ball joint that has a little bit of foot posability. And again, these heel spurs work really nice with him. So let's go ahead and kind of put him in some kind of a pose real quick. And you can make sure his toes are flat, which is really nice. Now his gun, with all these guys, is just part of what makes Devastator's big gun. So I think they implemented it pretty nice. You're going to take this peg right here. There's a little hole right here. And plug it in there. If I can get it. And there you have either Excavator or Scavenger, whichever you prefer to call him. And we'll get a little 360 at him. These guys are super tight coming out of the packaging, so it will take you a while to kind of work in the joints, but that's a good thing, especially from a third-party company. And this is my first item that I've received from Make Toys, so I really enjoy it. And there's kind of rumor that we might see Make Toys do a Computron, so I actually tweeted an image of that out that a buddy of mine sent me. So if you follow me on Twitter, you saw that. If not, then I'm sure you'll see it eventually. But there he is with G1 Scavenger. And we'll kind of get a look at what he looks like with some of his other teammates here. He's not the shortest, but he's not the tallest either. Here we have Mixmaster. So as you can see, he's kind of an in-between. He looks a little bit shorter than Scrapper here, but that's because we got him all bent down and stuff. And give you, I guess, a little bit more current guy. Here's Fall of Cybertron, Optimus Prime. So they both have bended knees, but if they were both extended, Excavator would obviously be quite a bit taller. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully this was able to help you out on your decision on whether you wanted to get the Make Toys version or the TFC Toys version. I think that what I've heard, they're both good. This is the one I decided to go with, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm going to follow up with a few more videos of these guys, and then we'll do one final video with the Devastator or Green Giant. So talk to you later.